Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be here live, but it's 12:30 a.m. by that time, and when you hear this, I will probably be fast asleep. But Sophie asked me to record a little video to share my thoughts on the Champions League game against Barcelona last night. Overall, I think I woke up not feeling too sad about it, and this is why. I think most of us who've been following the women's game for a while and have seen how dangerous Barcelona are and just how overwhelming playing against them can be. I don't think we were expecting us to blow them away by in any stretch of imagination, but I think that overall this is going to be it's going to be a good result for us in the long run, just because it's a good benchmark to know where we need to go, where we need to be, if we want to be considered a challenger in Europe, and to see that at this stage of this process that we've started under Jonas is, I think, really useful for us. And if you've listened to any of the interviews from the coach or Captain Little and a couple of the other players, they've all said that this is something that we will learn from, and though we were prepared, we weren't. It was really difficult for us to play or get anything against the way Barcelona were attacking and their aggression, their intensity, their pressing. And I do think Barcelona are that kind of team. Like you can prepare, but as you will only know what it's like to play against them when you actually play against them. So I think it's really important for us to have that sort of experience this early on, especially for this team and this squad, and it gives us a kind of direction on where to go. We've shown that we can, beat the likes of Chelsea and City so far, teams that have been bogey teams for us the past couple of seasons. And I think this shows us where we are in Europe. And again, if you've been watching the women's game for a while, you will know that, being beaten by Barcelona is not something, it's not a bad result by any stretch. And it's not that this team, this Arsenal team, should be too worried in that way. There is a very large gap between Barcelona and all the other teams in Europe, including the likes of Lyon and Wolfsburg, who, as we know, are also very, very good. So there's no shame in losing to them. I'm happy that we did get the goal. Great ball in by Tobin Heath, who was really good as soon as she came on. I thought that she was very positive and also was involved in all the chances and the half chances we created as soon as she came on. And I think just for all the younger players to play at that stage against this team, we will learn from this. Special shout out to Manu Zinsberger, who had a massive game in goal. I don't think she could have done much against the goals that we conceded, but she put in a great effort between the sticks and pulled off a couple of really good saves, including, obviously the last minute penalty. Because even at that stage, even if you've conceded 4 goals, conceding a last minute penalty would have kind of affected us mentally more than we would have liked to admit. So I'm glad, that instead we have her, stepping up, saving what was her fourth penalty in Arsenal colours, and she saved all of them, which I didn't know until this morning. So yeah, overall, I think that we can, hold our heads up high. We can learn from this experience, especially, I think, more than the defensive players. I think it was in the midfield where we struggled the most, and which is why the likes of Miedema and Bethmead were kind of isolated, and they couldn't really do much, because by the time they tracked back to get the ball, they had 3 or 4 Barcelona players on them, and there wasn't enough time for them to sort of create and get on the end of that assist or something like that. So I think speed is definitely something where this Barcelona team are miles ahead of everyone. And the thing is, they've got so many deadly players. It's not like we have to mark 1 or 2 and then we can kind of compete with the rest. It's pretty relentless. I was already tired when I watched the game, because it started past midnight, and by the time it was the final whistle, I was tired just watching their intensity and their energy. So I can't imagine what it must have been like for Arsenal to actually play against that. But yeah, I'm not going to call anyone out in particular, because I don't think it was that kind of game. I did think that we can be a bit more aggressive, in terms, like aggressive not just on the ball, but you saw how Barcelona were off the ball as well. I thought our movement off the ball was a little hesitant, and we gave them too much respect, especially in that the first half of the first half, especially. So that's something we can learn from, because I mean they'll be coming to visit us in London soon, and I hope for a better showing. I'm not saying a win, because we do still have some time to go until we can get to that level. But even if we can compete, and if we can improve our reaction time on the counter, which is probably our best bet at getting any sort of result or getting any goals. And I think that's something we can definitely, they can work on in training. And if you saw any of the interviews with Jonas and Captain Little, all of them said that, this is an experience we will learn from. And I have no doubt that they will. So overall, it is still very, very positive. And I mean, no one likes to lose. We have so much experience losing against Barcelona with the men, so there were some Champions League flashbacks. But overall, I think we should be, very positive. The season's just beginning. This team is just beginning to show what it's capable of. This is the best Arsenal team I have seen in years. It's definitely one of the best already that we've ever had for the club. So, great things are coming, but we're still very early on in the process. And I think that the second half showed that we have a coach who is willing to take risks, is willing to adapt and adjust, in the game. And we may not always get the result we want, but I think in terms of attitude, no one can knock them. And I think, that's so important. So mentally, I think we'll still, go away from yesterday's game with more positives than not. So overall, I'm very excited and very positive, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go next with this, because I still think we should be getting out of this group for sure. Hoffenheim did look a very decent side. I saw a bit of their game. But I think we have enough to beat both the other teams. So as long as we can do that, I do think that we'll get our chance in the knockout stages as well. So let me know what your thoughts were on the game, and which player, Arsenal or Barcelona, impressed you the most. And you can find me on Twitter at Anu Nande. So that's ANUNANDE. I'm always up for good old football chat, so feel free to tag and follow me. And as usual, it's always great to be on the Highbury Squad, so a big shout out to all the squaddies, and I'll hopefully see you live very soon. Yeah, so take care.